A common complaint in today's automotive press, and often among buyers, is that all cars these days kind of look the same. The push for aerodynamic designs to meet fuel efficiency standards, the need to abide by increasingly stringent safety regulations, and just the ever-growing popularity of the family crossover are all reasons given as to why the shapes of cars seem harder and harder to tell apart. But another area where there is a great deal of similarity in today's automotive fleet is in color, to the point where some auto enthusiasts complain car colors are boring. There actually is something to this argument. There are a few colors that are extremely popular both in the United States and around the world, and they are, well, not terribly colorful.
We found in our latest report, which analyzed the whole 2019 year, all the different regions, as well as North America, we found that the color white is still the dominant color. It's very popular in every region, most popular in the Asia Pacific region, but also trending very strongly in Europe, Middle East, Africa, South America, as well as North America.
What happened to the pink Cadillacs, the bright red, green, and yellow muscle cars, the racing stripes? They are still out there on sports cars, halo vehicles, and limited editions, but they are vastly outnumbered by sober, conservative whites, blacks, silvers, and grays. So why are these achromatic colors, or colors that lack color, so popular? It has to do with practicality, human psychology, and technology. And people in the car coatings business say car colors are not really that boring at all. Coatings have become ever more sophisticated, and coatings makers can do a lot more with less. Within just one color type, such as white for example, companies can now achieve a great range of shades and effects not possible before, and which you might not at first notice. Looking around the world, it is hard not to notice that a few car colors do seem to dominate. The color white, for example, is painted on 39% of cars around the world. Then black, with gray and silver following behind. The most popular non-neutral color, i.e. one that isn't simply white, black, or some shade of gray or silver, is blue. So why? What is it about these colors that makes them so popular? Why isn't there a greater degree of variation? Part of it, say industry analysts, is practicality. First, all of those colors, white, black, gray, and silver, are available in pretty much every segment of vehicle. As people say of clothing, those colors go with anything. No matter the shape or size of the vehicle, they work well, and they don't go out of style. That matters because cars are expensive. This might be the era of fast fashion, where consumers can update their wardrobes every few months as colors and designs change. But the average new vehicle in the United States is somewhere around $35,000. And cars are among the biggest single expenses a person is likely to make in their lifetime. Even if someone leases a vehicle, they are liable to hold on to it for at least 3 years. Cars also take a long time to develop and bring to market.
Automotive colors in general, when you compare them to other industries, they tend to be on the conservative side. It's because the turnaround time for engineering a color position is 3 to 5 years, as opposed to 18 months or 24 months in many other industries. And we also have to go through a lot of sophisticated engineering to dial in the color position. And once it's on the car, people tend to keep the car for a longer period of time.
Another reason industry analysts cite could be resale value. Customers might be less inclined to buy a bold or eccentric color for a car they might want to get rid of in a few years. That eggplant-colored sports car might appeal to too narrow a buyer base and affect the asking price. The availability of neutral colors, such as white, black, gray, or silver, can also make a big difference, especially in a country like America, where customers are used to going to an auto dealership and driving a new car home on the same day. It is a bit of a chicken and egg problem. Dealers might be less likely to stock bright greens, oranges, or purples because those are statistically less likely to sell, which makes cars in those colors less immediately available for customers that want them, and so on. Having said that, car coatings companies are quick to point out that they will make a car in any color an automaker wants. And car manufacturers do sometimes offer a wide range of colors for vehicles, especially certain kinds. There are limited edition colors, which are often featured on halo vehicles or more specialty vehicles. Ford comes out with limited edition colors on the Mustang, for example. Toyota offers a limited edition color for every model year on the Tacoma TRD Pro pickup truck. Vehicles such as the new Ford Bronco, the Chevrolet Colorado ZR2, the BMW M Series sports sedans, and many others all come with signature colors that are often bold and unique. But many of these are low-volume vehicles that appeal to specific types of customers and can sometimes carry higher price tags than an automaker's more popular products. There are also some psychological reasons why people drift toward neutral colors. When choosing colors for cars or trying to understand their popularity, color designers look around the world. What are the colors on the other objects in the home or the workplace? What do people associate with certain types of items?
As we look at what's happening in pop culture, what we see in installations and art museums, we read a lot. We read not only things that are directly related to color, but we also read more abstract things, because color being a very psychological and a very emotional thing, we have to really connect with what people as individuals are looking for, what they're connecting with, what societies are connecting with, and how technology from other areas, from other aspects, is actually delivering to that.
This has affected car color choice. A big factor in recent years is the rise of electronics.
The reason why whites and the achromatics are so popular with the car is they seem to work very, very well in terms of the way it's appropriate for the car. And by that I mean a car is very high technology. And if you think about technology in other industries, for example, you tend to see a lot of silvers or a lot of grays. And recently, with the popularity of certain technology firms and the color white was also viewed as a technology color.
Colors can evoke certain feelings about an object and, in a way, need to reflect its features. This is very evident in the case of an emerging class of vehicles, electric cars. There are colors that are especially popular among EVs, especially white and blue. The popularity of blue for EVs is quite notable, given the fact that it is a chromatic color, not a neutral one.
Blue seems to be a very popular color. A lot of people like it. And for the automotive market, you could do a light silver, a very chromatic blue, a very dark navy blue, and all of those ranges would be very appropriate for different vehicle styles. And I think with the EV market, when they first started to come out into the marketplace, a few of the OEMs offered a specific light blue on those vehicles. And I think that equated with consumers on blue being associated with electric vehicles.
The popularity of a few neutral car color choices obscures some important history about how far car coatings have come and how much choice there is available to customers today. In the early days of the automotive industry, the palette of available colors was pretty limited and paints were fragile. The pioneering Henry Ford, who brought industrialized manufacturing techniques to the fledgling car business, is reputed to have said that a customer could have Ford's Model T in any color as long as it was black. The story is only partly true. The Model T was available in several colors for at least part of its lifetime, though for several years the car could in fact only be bought in black. This was because black paint dried the fastest and was therefore best suited for the rapid automotive production methods Ford was trying to implement to meet burgeoning demand. As the automotive industry grew, however, coating technologies became more sophisticated, and that expanded the range of colors car makers could offer. New primers helped protect against rust, new top coat resins kept colors from fading and added shine.
So in the 80s, clear coats started to become available in the automotive industry, and also a process called electrocoating, which means the whole vehicle would get coated with a primer surfacer that would create a protective layer. And then on top of that, we put paint and then a clear coat.
Effect coatings made from metal, glass, and minerals such as mica could give paint jobs a kind of sparkle.
Paint technology has improved to the point where you can take metallic flake pigments, which tend to be kind of large, and we can get those metallic flake pigments to align very much in a parallel fashion. Paint on a car body is about half the width of a human hair. That's not a lot of space to work with. And if we can get a good parallel orientation of these metal flakes, what designers found is that they can introduce not only color direction, but also texture into a coating.
Techniques like these allowed paint makers to widen the possible palette of colors and effects achievable. So once, there really might have only been, at most, a few varieties of any given color. But now, for example, the white that might have dominated in the middle of the 20th century, say a bleached hospital white seen on emergency or service vehicles, is no longer the only choice. Now there is a mind-boggling range of possibilities. You can add a little bit of blue to make a white look cooler, which is popular for cars trying to achieve a futuristic or high-tech effect. You can have a yellower or creamier white that evokes luxury. Using coatings, flakes, and subtle shifts in hue, a wide range of possibilities is achieved.
But each OEM has a different version of white, a different version of those neutral colors. That supports their brand strategy. You know, they're very specific about what those colors look like. And I know I have friends of mine that they're just like, oh, isn't, gray? And it's like, no, look at this gray versus this gray. This has a blue cast, this has a brown cast, this has a high sparkle, this has a silky sparkle.
Colors do come into fashion and then lose popularity in cars over time. Green was a popular color in the 1990s, accounting for somewhere around 15 or 16% of all cars. But now, the number of green cars is more in the single digits, according to BASF's research. But Jane Harrington of PPG said she has been seeing green on an increasing number of SUVs, and the color is another one that is associated with nature, biology, and eco-friendliness, suggesting it could come back into fashion. Companies are also looking to the future. Both PPG and BASF told CNBC they are developing car coatings that can easily be noticed by technology used on autonomous vehicles. That part of the market has a way to go before it becomes widely adopted, but it is already something researchers are thinking about. A development like that could completely change the market once again. The car colors on the road in 50 years could be completely different from the ones we see today.